And there's always going to be sacrifices that go along with it. When the price of winning is high, balance is going to be low. Does it have to be low forever? No, but it's just part of the picture. It just comes with it. So what we need to do is get rid of what's unessential. And the first thing is money, spending money for the purpose of significance or control. So Aaron and I always lived way below our means. Keith even mentioned it when he would come to our house for our team meetings. He's like, you guys just like live in a regular house and like drive regular cars. And we've always we lived in a 2-bedroom condo, and then we had 2 kids, and we're like, I guess we could move to like a 3-bedroom condo. I just want to start by saying that if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be up here speaking to you guys, I would have shit my pants. So thank you for being a safe space for me, because I am not comfortable being up here like Aaron. It's not like a second skin that I just throw on. So thank you. But yeah, I wanted to start out by asking you to picture a scenario. So Aaron and I are in Cabo. We are going down to eat breakfast overlooking the beautiful ocean. We're meeting our wonderful friends Dan, Mark, Ricky, and Jessica. And the topic of conversation is strengths and weaknesses. Now, it's not we're telling everyone our strengths and weaknesses, but we have to tell each other. And of course, Aaron has a lot to chime in, as usual. So what was shocking to me is that all these top producers had very similar weaknesses. And that was a lack of belief, me included. Either we don't believe that we're worthy, we don't believe that we could do it as well as Aaron does. So I really wanted to dive in as to why, and also what we can do to get better together, because this is really important in any aspect of your life and moving your business forward, your brand forward, everything forward. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I wanted to start by asking you to close your eyes, okay? Just bear with me. There is no right or wrong way to do this, okay? So just go along. I want you to picture someone who didn't or doesn't believe in you. What do they say to you? Picture where you are right now in this moment. How did you feel when they said those things to you? What do you notice in your body? Now I want you to picture a time when you didn't believe in yourself. What are you saying to yourself? What's the inner monologue? How does it make you feel? And what is it that brought you out? Is it that you got angry? Or possibly did a person come and help you get out of it? Now I want you to open your eyes. So it's interesting because Aaron and I both did this exercise, and we had a similar experience that someone said something snooty to us, like, oh, you guys are so cute, thinking that realtors could be millionaires, like, oh, that's so cute, and we both got angry. So I'd like to invite you guys to share, because leaders go first, what some of your experiences were. Who wants to go first? Okay, go Heath.
I get that all the time now with people at work, being in law enforcement and stuff. The fear is that, Carla doesn't know what to do once they retire, or why would you leave? Because you're leaving so much money on the table. So I get that often. I retire in 3 months. And
clap it up. Yeah. It's amazing.
So, thank you guys. And I'm not participating in the drop, which is the deferred compensation plan, which you could walk away with after 5 to 8 years, a lump sum of $700,000 at most. but at the same time, I think, and I'm being around, everyone here, that I can make that in the next 5-10 years anyway. So,
hell yeah.
So again, that's just people give that to you because again, what I've learned and what I'm aware of through speaking with Aaron is that that's their own insecurities that they're projecting onto me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. Thank you, Keith, for sharing that. Anyone else have something come up for them about? Go ahead, Dylan.
I've got one that's actually very similar to his. Being in the military for. So after being in the Marine Corps for 12 years and kind of being on what they call a fast track as far as promotion and where I was in my career, when I made the decision that I was going to be getting out, people were like, "What are you doing? Like you could be a sergeant major here in 15 years, retire. You have 8 years before you can retire and get a pension from the military. Like why are you getting out?" And so it was just one of those things. And then also when I started doing real estate part-time while I was still in the Marine Corps, people didn't understand like how you can juggle that kind of stuff. But it just fueled me even more because I knew that when I looked at the outlook of if I stayed in the Marine Corps for another 8 years or I focused on my business for the next 8 years, which one had the higher return? And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that real estate was a vehicle that would allow me to provide more for my family and a better future for my family.
That's awesome that you didn't let their fear,
Exactly. And that's exactly what it is, because a lot of people, when that's all you've known since you were, in my case, since I was 18 and graduated high school, it is scary. It's scary to go on a new adventure that not something, you're not going to get paid on the 1st and the 15th, So, so to have a lot of people that question you in that decision, if it's the right decision, and doubt you, it's cool to see like how things can go afterwards.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Great.
Come on,
So,
guys. Come.
clap it up, clap it up. All right, so for the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to go over the 3 simple steps to belief. Number 1 is lean into that why to propel you forward. One of my big whys is my sister. So my sister was in another industry, and she felt like she hit a ceiling of what she could earn financially. She's going to talk more about it during her speech. But she didn't know what to do. She came in to work with us, just kind of like, you guys are doing a lot. If I work with you guys, maybe I'll figure it out. So for me, I am willing to do very uncomfortable things because I'm going to cry because you're making me cry. I will do anything for my sister, even if it's getting up in front of you guys, which is super uncomfortable for me. I will do it for her because I want her to succeed. And I want other women to succeed. I want other people to look at me and say, hey, if she can do it, I can do it. Thank you. Yes, Mark.
Can I reflect something to you?
Yes.
Based on our lunch conversation yesterday, if this wasn't as meaningful to you, would these tears be present?
No.
Okay.
We had a whole conversation about why do I cry so much? Why can't I have more happy and laughter instead of the tears? The tears come so easily. But he made me realize that it's because I'm passionate, it's because I love. I love really hard. But that's my why. So what is your why? Do you have a why so strong that you will do anything to achieve it? I don't want to leave her behind. I don't want to see her struggle. Anyone want to share their why? So I could just, zen? Deirdre, what's your why?
My kids, just working hard and paving the way that they can have what I didn't have growing up.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What
I
about
don't have one yet.
You don't have one yet?
saying that I have it, but I don't have a really solid, passionate why yet. I don't have it.
Well, it could be just helping other people.
And that's what Darren said. And that's a passion. It's definitely a passion of mine.
I think
Of
you're
doing
like a servant leader. I really do. I see you always helping other people.
But there's something missing, let's say that. And I feel like that's the why it's missing.
So that's maybe something to,
Exactly. But, yeah.
anyone else want to share a why for them? Mark?
Yeah, Derek and I want to travel around the world. Derek and I, about 8 years ago, decided that we want to start hosting exchange students with the intention that we can travel around the world, because we can't have kids. We've tried. We can't seem to make it work. We're practicing a lot. Our desire was to travel around the world and visit our kids, and the way that we started doing that is by hosting youth exchange students. And the value is, I mean, we've hosted so far 6 students from all different countries, and we're not only developing a relationship with an amazing young person who, as we grow old, is going to still be around, like you all have kids, but we're connecting with their family, and that's really meaningful to us. So, and then the other is, and you all find out in my talk on Saturday, I had some struggles as I was growing up, is to be there for other young gay people, because they just have a rocky road when they perceive that the world is not there for them or accepting of them. So thank you for letting me share
an
that.
amazing guide for them,
Thank you.
because you've been through it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. These two little. The second is to get rid of your luxury. So when I say the word luxury, what do you guys think of? Comforts, expensive cars. These are not the luxuries that I'm talking about, okay? So luxury is a state of comfort, but these are the luxuries that I'm talking about. Guilt, insecurity, doubt, fear, and shame. And we all have one, maybe two, that we really live in. I happen to circle guilt. I have a lot of mom guilt. So each of these is a box that we put ourselves in, okay? And if we're in that box, if I'm in the guilt box, I can really only attract people who are in the same box. Think of someone who's in one of these boxes. Do they attract people who are similar to them? How do they do that? By the way they talk, by what they do, by the way they think. Oh, I thought someone had something. So, and also think about, how do each of these things give you comfort? So in my box, the guilt box, I'm always guilty for maybe traveling without the kids. How does that give me comfort? It keeps me at home. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm comfortable. So think about what box that you live in and how that gives you comfort for a second. And then I want to just leave you with the thought that committed attracts committed.
Say that again?
Committed attracts committed. So by leaving these behind and getting in the box of committed, which is I'm going to do whatever it takes, you're going to attract people who also are going to do whatever it takes. So, what does it mean to be committed? I did not put this picture up here because it's like, oh, look how cute, how romantic. No. I put this picture up here to show you this, that red bracelet right there. This motherfucker wore this bracelet to our wedding that said prospect now. He's proud of it. He's proud of it. Because that was the number one thought in his mind for 15, 16, 17 years. That was it. And the difference between being interested and being obsessed. Interested is, it'd be nice to do more deals. I got one foot in the water. But obsessed is, I'm wearing a bracelet to the wedding. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And obsession has a negative connotation in our society, but that's what it takes to do something big. And there's always going to be sacrifices that go along with it. It's just part of the, of the picture. So when the price of winning is high, balance is going to be low. Does it have to be low forever? No, but it's just part of the picture. It just comes with it. So what we need to do is get rid of what's unessential. And the first thing is money, spending money for the purpose of significance or control. So Aaron and I always lived way below our means. I mean, Heath even mentioned it when he would come to our house for our team meetings. He's like, you guys just like live in a regular house and like drive regular cars. And we've always, like, we lived in a 2-bedroom condo, and then we had 2 kids, and we're like, I guess we can move to like a 3-bedroom condo. But it's because there was always an end goal in mind, which is to invest, to have security, to end up with financial freedom and time freedom. And that was the whole point. Like, I don't care if anyone knows I have any money. I don't care. I'd rather them think that I don't, because that's not the point. The second is spending time with people who aren't aligned. We've had to get rid of a lot of friends and even some family just because they're not aligned with what we want to do. We don't want people around us who are bringing us down. And that's really hard sometimes, because sometimes they are really close to you. I don't talk a lot about what we do to our family. Like Gabriella, before she worked with us, I don't think she had any idea of what we were doing. She's like, you guys sell a lot of homes. Like, yeah, because what we were talking about before in that exercise, I don't want to hear people's fears projected onto me. I don't want to hear people's negative thoughts of like, oh, I don't know, that's risky, or I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't want to hear it, because we have a plan, and we're going to execute it regardless of what else is going on around us. Thank you. And there has been times when I have resented him for working too much. But that's a sacrifice that in the end had to be done. We had to sacrifice time, we had to sacrifice money, and it's worth it. I want to be very clear that, yes, we had to sacrifice, but it's worth it. So I want you guys to pair up in 2 or 3s real quick. So find a partner. I mean, it could be interesting if you find someone who you don't know. Doesn't matter though. So I want you guys to discuss with each other, what have you had to sacrifice to get here? What will you have to sacrifice to get where you want to go? And why is it so hard? Okay? So I'm going to give you guys...
Here, you're talking here physically?
Yeah, like pair up with someone, and I want you...
Part of your life, like right now. Yeah, like where you are
right now. So pair up with someone, and I want you to discuss it. I'm going to give you like 5 minutes. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I can't with him. So I want you guys to share. I want to hear about some of the sacrifices that you're going to need to make to get where you want to go. Okay. Said I would like to hear about some of the things that you guys have to sacrifice to get where you want to go. Because once you're clear of what you've had to sacrifice and what you're going to need to sacrifice, the question is, are you going to do it? Like, are you going to make that decision? Like, yeah, I'm going to do what it takes. So what is it that you need to sacrifice to get where you need to go? How about you, Jessica?
What's comfortable? What's been working?
And what is that? Like, what's comfortable for you?
Like production and like 1x and 2x outputs, to start focusing on things that have a 10x output and duplication and replication to them. We talked about like really spending time on courses, and doing things that can create passive action. Mm-hmm. It's not really so much about income, it's about someone raising their hand saying they want to partner with us. Mm. Instead of always doing one-on-one calls, like, why haven't I done the video that I can send to 10 people who DM me? That's a 10x output. But I've been doing what's comfortable and what works, and it's not scaling fast enough.
And you have been getting out of your comfort zone because you've come a long way. You've like created this whole culture in Texas from nothing. So I don't want you to think that like you're not sacrificing already. But it's interesting, isn't it, to like be really clear, like, okay, this is the next step.
Yeah, I mean, once we get comfortable, we're going too slow.
Exactly. You're not growing anymore once you're comfortable. That's awesome.
Hey, if everything feels like it's under control, you're not going fast enough.
Yeah. You want to share, Ben?
Which one?
What you need to sacrifice to get to the next level, like where you want to go.
Yeah, I think it mirrors a lot of what Jessica just said, is just kind of leaning into discomfort a lot more.
Be specific, what type of discovery?
I think letting go of the way that I've done things in the past. So specifically selling real estate and having the experience for the customer be perfect and having me control everything. I think control is part of it. I think media is another thing. Stepping into being a leader. Doing more on social media, doing more engagement with my peers, speaking tomorrow. So a lot of that is just kind of leaning into discomfort.
Yeah, I think it's really important to surround yourself with people who enforce that discomfort. So if I say, I think I should do a podcast, this one books me for 10 podcasts. And then it's like, oh, now I have to actually do it,
I booked her 10 podcasts.
She really did. And I didn't even know how to set the setup. I didn't know how to work it, but she booked me for one, so I had to go and figure it out. So who's around you that pushes you to do stuff that makes you viscerally uncomfortable? Not just a little, but like super uncomfortable.
Novello.
Exactly. Proximity is power. Like this is the group that we need to be like using to get us out of that comfort zone.
Many of the people in this room, actually.
Exactly. I'm
Because
seeing
as
what.
I see them do great things.
Exactly.
It causes me to want to propel forward also.
Yeah, the intention is to have people in your proximity that when you mention that you're thinking about doing something uncomfortable, they're like, well, not like, well, are you sure?
Right. It's like, oh yeah.
No. Like, no. Yeah. You want people just like, yo, I want to talk on stage. Fuck it, you should.
Let me help you. Let me put you in contact with someone.
Yeah. That encourage you to get uncomfortable, right?
And it's okay to mess it up. Like, I'm sure the next 20 podcasts are not going to be my best work, but I have to do those 20 podcasts to get to the 30th one that's like amazing. It's just part of the process.
Yeah, so I'll send you, like, real quick, Vivian, who just partnered with us, she's in Texas. And she texted me, she's like, hey, I'm scared. I have my first role play call today, and I already got in trouble. And it's like, she messed up. Here's my response to her. What would most people say? People who love you, like, you're it's okay.
It's okay.
Just know that you're fine.
I know what you said to her.
Consoling, like, it'll be all right, which comes from a good place. Is that actually helpful?
No.
No. So here's what I said. If you are comfortable, you're not growing. Instead of being scared when you're uncomfortable, get excited because it means you're getting out of your comfort zone. There is a version of you that is 10 times bigger than your current version. Going towards discomfort is how you bring her out. The fears you don't face become your limits. She said we're going to bring her out. You see what I'm saying? So when she's like, I'm uncomfortable, it's like, oh, pobrecito, it's okay. You'll be all right. Your mommy loves you. First world problems. Like, no, lean into the discomfort. It's exactly what you should do.
She said she can't handle it.
I don't know, like she maybe said something on the call and somebody was like, you should do this. You know what she said to me? I'm like, you should get roping. What do you think her first response was? Well, I don't know. I'm like, yo, I don't know who's speaking to me. I want to speak to the badass bitch. I want to speak to the weak one that cowers in a corner because I don't know who that is. If you want to continue the conversation, I'll hang up and then call you back. I'm just taking it out. And me and Jessica had those conversations. Jessica don't want to call me every once in a while, doesn't happen often.
Who is this?
I want the badass bitch that moved to a new state with 2 children by herself and did 52 deals the first calendar year. That's what I want to be. That's who needs to be running your business. That's the one I want to talk to, not this other one. And she'll be like, oh my bad. Right?
Let me go get her.
That's right. Yeah, let me go get it. And she's like, what's up? You know what I tell her all the time too? I breathe it over her. I'm like, yo, if I was in battle and I'm on a horse, and we have these fucking helmets, you know, these Spartan helmets, she's sitting right next to me, people be like, oh, is she gonna be okay? I'm like, that's the wrong fucking question.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, are you gonna be okay? Sure murder all of you guys.
Calm down over there. All right, so coming full circle to belief, have you earned the right to believe in yourself? So how many of you guys have placed bets like on a sports team or in a casino? Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that it's so easy to give our money knowing that we're probably going to lose? But how often do we give money to bet on ourselves? It's so much. I know you do, but that's why you have crazy results. I think for a lot of us, it's like betting on ourselves, we think it's not a good investment, but we do it on things that, don't even matter. So here are some of the bets that Aaron and I have placed over the years. When we started out, paying $1,000 a month for coaching was ridiculous. We weren't making a lot of money. And he came to me and asked me, like, do you think it's okay? But I believed in him. I said, I know you're going to do whatever it takes. So yeah, it's a great investment. Moving to a new marketplace. Don't make me cry, girl. I can't cry anymore. We moved to a new marketplace when the market tanked, and we had to figure it out. But it worked out great because Gainesville, there's nothing there. Changing lead sources. When expires dried up, we had to do probates. I'm sure that was super uncomfortable for you, having to call attorneys and be like, what do I do in this situation? Nobody was coaching you. There was no course that you could watch. You just had to figure it out. But it was a bet that you said, hey, expires are no longer a thing. I have to figure it out because I'm not going to be less because of it. Investing in syndications with grants and other companies. A lot of people told us, oh, that's risky. I wouldn't do that. It's a scam. But we saw it. It made sense. And now we get a lot of passive income from it. Buying shares in a KW office. We all know how that turned out. But we made a bet. Spending $16,000 on a website to attract agents to Keller Williams. Also, another bet. I want you to notice that a lot of these didn't work out. But it's okay because we learned so much from those mistakes. Switching to EXP, another bet. When Jose came to him with the idea at first, Aaron was like, no, I'm good. It took a while. But once you saw it, you were like, we had a lot of pendings. We had to sell back our shares in KW. We lost a lot of money. But we saw it as an opportunity, and we made that bet. And then letting go of production to focus on attraction. Hundreds of deals a year, we had to say, no, this is a better opportunity. We're going to let that go. And that was scary. But once again, a great decision. And then spending $25,000 to learn social media. When Aaron saw that social media was the way that we had to go, he had no hesitation, well, maybe a little hesitation, a little. But once again, now we are where we are because of that decision. So what bets have you guys made? And what would your bets on yourself be to get to another level? That's my question to you.
Well, I mean, for me, obviously, one of them was going EXP.
Yep.
So one of them's on EXP. The other one has been, other classes or going to paying for opportunities to go and network with other people, stuff like that. But the one thing that I also want to point out in this that we need to be aware of is like a lot of agents specifically are scared to make bets, but we also need to understand that we're literally in an occupation that if the bet doesn't work out, you can literally just print more money by doing the actions that you know that you can do. But yeah, switching to EXP was a big bet for me, and then just going with EC Creative and seeing how that works as far as the social media. So yeah. Right, exactly. So.
And also I want to say what allows us to make these bets is we have so much trust in ourselves because we've done so many reps that we know like no matter what happens, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
You know, and I trust in him that like no matter what happens, he's going to work so hard to figure it out and I'm going to support him.
Yep.
So the trust really comes with repetition and doing it over and over and over again and realizing like no matter what, I'm going to do what it takes. Anyone else place any bets?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of mirroring Dylan's. So the first was switching to EXP because, when I left my previous brokerage to go to Keller with this guy, he showed me what I would have made with them and then what I would have made at Keller, and I was like, all right, like, let's go. And I was with them 12 years. A year later, he's like, hey, bro, I got another scenario for you. And I'm very loyal, which was why I was with my previous one for 12 years. So to make that again and move from Keller to EXP with him, with Aaron, was a big bet. But one of the things that I know about him, and I'll talk about it on Saturday, is I don't know if I've ever seen anybody as dedicated to him as to research something that he's going to put out to everybody else. Like he vets it to the level of, all right, if he gives it its rubber stamp, I'm good. Don't need to know anything else. Just tell me when and where. So that was one, and then the second was the media part, man. Plunking down the 20 whatever grand with EC is like, that was a huge bet.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know it's going to pay dividends because I've seen it pay dividends with him.
Yeah, and you've already had it bring people to your ecosystem.
I have. Yeah, I've already attracted agents to me through media, and I've had so much media already, it was just now getting it to a platform like EC that can take full advantage of what I've already filmed. So, yeah. So thank you.
And I am so in awe of how many of you guys also put trust in us because I don't take that lightly. That you guys, change your lives, move your businesses, make huge bets on yourself based on, us and your trust in us. I mean, I really don't take that lightly, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Jessica told me to call him Ben. She wants to call you out.
Let's go.
Ben Taggett.
Yeah.
This is the last one before we move on.
Talk about all the bets you've made on yourself in the last.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear a lot about it in my talk, but I started getting consistent with personally nutrition, working out, and then on the business side, I hired Aaron to coach me. I found him on
You just brushed over that. How much weight did you lost?
90 pounds in the
Woo!
last.
It's amazing.
Zero Ozempic team.
Zero. Yeah, and then business-wise, I hired Aaron. I met him on Instagram. I got on a call with him, and then switched to doing sellers instead of buyers. Started paying him $2,500 a month to coach me. He told me to get EC. I did that within a month. He was like, "Yeah, you should probably check out Jessica with EXP." I switched over to them 2 weeks later. So yeah.
All bets you're placing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you really had to let go of a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't a small bet.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It wasn't easy, right? Because on a coaching call, you told me after making all those bets that for 2 months you didn't make any money.
Yeah.
It was a 90-day cycle. What happened?
Yeah, it was hard mentally. Yeah.
And there was a little, the tears, right?
Yeah.
Fucking hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
How many people have cried because of real estate besides me? That's fucking hard, man.
How many calls have we had? I'm like, bro, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think it was hard because I was making a lot of money, before, and then I was just let go of that, and my ego, and then just had faith in what I was doing. So yeah.
That's awesome. Clap it up. I always find that you have to really let something go in order to get something new. And I think that's part of growing and just evolving. It's if you keep holding on to the same things, you're just never going to go anywhere. So he had to let go of some big things. We had to let go of some big things to move to the next level.
Real estate advice, but I wouldn't go to him for other areas as well too. you know? So there's also like different people, like, I probably wouldn't come to me for like fitness advice, you know? Like if you guys want fitness advice, I'm probably not.
Not yet. The next season of his life.
I'm probably not the guy right now, but there's also like people that you go to for certain things as well too, and knowing what different people are good at and knowing what you can come to somebody for. Sometimes that one person who is believable or has good judgment, maybe in one area you don't want their advice or different things. Because I've had, and I think this is good, I think that's one of the reasons I've succeeded is just good judgment over a long period of time. Because I've had people tell me.
Triangulated, you seek out people
Yeah.
who have good judgment that are tight.
And then I take their advice, basically. I take their advice. Because I've had people that have given me certain advice, and I'd be like, no. Like, thank you, but no thank you. And the ability to be able to do that because I didn't, they weren't believable in my eyes as well, too. So I think if you ever did something on how to get better judgment or helping people to get better judgment, I think that's so important because in people's lives, people have to make decisions, and the better that they get at making good decisions, the better their output of their life, basically.
Wild is the quality. So there's two things that determine the quality of outcome they produce. One is luck. Now, I'm aware that luck is when preparation meets opportunity, but it's serendipitous in nature. I don't have complete control over it. Do you know what the second thing then that determines the quality of the outcomes we produce? Being a better decision maker. Let me ask you guys a question. We have all advanced levels of education, some people 12, some people longer than that years. Did anybody ever teach you a course on how to make decisions?
No.
Nope. And yet we all think we're great decision makers. That's fascinating. And usually we're not, because our brains are wired for the short term, not the long term. So.
Yeah, I think two of the greatest ways to get better judgment is to triangulate with people who are experts in that field, but also don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like, it's part of the learning, you know? Without the mistakes, you're not going to realize what doesn't work. So thank you, Jose, for that point. Look at this crew. So I just want to end by saying the sacrifices so far have been worth it. Financial freedom, having your investments pay for your bills is nice. I sleep well at night. It's worth the sacrifice. I still drive a shitty Kia, but it's fine because I have my bills paid passively, you know? Time and location freedom. This is the longest vacation we're gonna take. We're gonna be 3 weeks here in the Dominican Republic. It's the longest time we've had a vacation, probably since I was 18 years old. And that's because of what is happening here right now. An ability to bless others, like a rising tide brings up all ships. Like, we're all growing together, and it's like, it's so exciting to be a part of it because this is like an amazing opportunity just to be around people who want to do big things, who want to grow, who want to do better. And just being able to help anybody is so worth it. So if you made bets on yourself, what would they be and what would they bring you and others? I think we kind of went over that. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting up with me.